I normally don't use mics, but I'll probably just kind of use it a little bit. But thank you, Hyde, for having me, and thank you, Sean, Mr. O'Connor, for letting me come and just kind of hang out with you guys. I think it's been really fun. We're teaching patience, if the students know that. What I showed this week was screen printing, and it's a very difficult kind of process, but it's all about process, and that's the one thing. So you guys are all, when I was your age, I didn't know what I wanted to be, right? 18 years old, went to school. I knew that an artist to me was like a painter, right? Like that's when people say, oh, what do you do? And people are like, I draw, I paint. I didn't really do that, and I didn't really know where I stood. So I applied to some art schools. I actually got rejected to college when I was your age. So I had to work very hard to be where I am today. And it's been kind of cool to understand my story. Next. So one thing, all of you guys are creative beings, you're designers, and so no matter what career you go to, there's certain things that you like. You like lines, you like colors. To me, I like chairs, and so I drew these chairs. These chairs, to me, it was in 1999 when I drew these chairs. So I have the high chair, the small chair. I consider that career chair, the middle chair, and then you have a chaise lounge, which is the retirement chair, and then you have a wheelchair. Now, the wheelchair is not necessarily the last chair of life, but it's the last chair of a story in my life. Next. So understanding chairs, you guys, you have to kind of think about why am I making chairs, why are they important to me? So all that you see here, it's ceramics, it's ceramic chairs. So it went from a drawing to screen prints, and now they're into clay, because I do a little bit of everything. And so for me, I'm kind of curious, you can't really read it. The last definition of the chair is a chair that you would just not sit in, but you would think about. And so when you see an empty chair, it makes you think about who was there, who was going to be there, and kind of what happened. Next. So if the images are a little soft, but here's the series of the chairs that came to life. So you have the high chairs. They are ceramics. I handmade everything. Everything that you see here is handmade. So the high chair is to scale. It's exactly what a high chair looks like. And so now I'm having a conversation. So this is about my story. So here I am as a baby in a high chair. Here I am physically in a high chair. These are all screen prints. So I'm dyslexic. I have, definitely issues reading and writing, and that's just who I am. But I've kind of figured that out through hard work. Next. So this is kind of the career chair. So I still consider myself in the career chair, right? And so here I am sitting in the chair. It's an IKEA chair. A lot of you guys have seen it. And I took molds of it and I cast them out of clay. And so those chairs are kind of talking to each other. And so I try to take a look at chairs to create that conversation versus putting people in it. And so I just considered printing myself in the chair to help that dialogue, because it is a self-portrait. Now when you take a look at this type of work, am I selling this work? So a lot of you guys are like, well, how do you make a living as an artist? And that's a huge question, huge question. This type of work is my work. Am I selling it? No, but I have to make it, because it's the way that I kind of talk about things. Next. So I consider retirement, but I took an image of my grandparents. So there's my grandma and grandpa, and then my sister's there. And so there's these smaller rocking chairs. They are kid-sized, because doing a large one was definitely going to be difficult. But so I think about retirement, I think about how my grandparents worked to the day that they passed away, and they worked so hard. And that the idea is that I want to always believe that I'm in retirement because I want to enjoy life. I want to work hard, but I also want to enjoy life. Next. So this is the end of kind of my story. So you can see this gets a little close to home. This is kind of the life and death of my mother that passed away when I was 20 years old. So that's why this work is for me. I want you guys to enjoy it, just as kind of the public, but I don't expect you to buy it, right? So that's a real wheelchair that I casted and made out of clay. And so this is a pretty deep story, right? Because sometimes art is for that. If it's music, if it's dance, if it's performance, or if it's just drawing or something, you find something that really taps into you so that you can really kind of reflect and think and heal. And so that's why I'm an artist. That's why I like arts. Next. So these are some examples. So I was in Philadelphia. I've been living in Philadelphia for the last 11 years. I just moved back to Maine. I'm originally from Rhode Island. And so I was in Philadelphia, I was walking across the street, and I totally got hit by a car. It was totally it stopped my life. I exploded all my ACLs in this leg. I couldn't really walk for 3 months. And so here I am, had lots of time to think, right? So I'm just sketching and drawing as in hospital, as in rehab. I mean, it really stops my whole life, but I'm a creative person. And so I started to draw things. And so these are all cast pill bottles from the medicine that I was prescribed. I took the pill bottles and I made molds of them and I could cast hundreds of them. And so I kind of put it in this money symbol because the idea, I was a hit and run. Who's gonna pay for my bills? Nobody. I was gonna pay for my bills. And so if you guys have ever been a hit and run person, it's pretty intense. So that's what my worries were. So I was making work on things that I was kind of worrying about. Next. And so here's another wheelchair. The interesting thing is, like, here I'm making work about my life and about, like, kind of using my mom, how she was in a wheelchair. And then all of a sudden I found myself in a wheelchair for 3 months. So I had this, like, metal rod that was sticking out of my leg. It was a pretty intense process. And so here we are with the United States of America map, because that's where I am. And I'm still thinking about money, right? Stressing out a little bit about my bills and about hospitals and kind of what things are cost, right? Because I was out of work. So these are things that I was thinking about. And my way of kind of maybe asking questions or solving things is to make artwork about it. Next. So understanding, I think a lot. The way that I kind of understand what's happening in society or in the world, I make work about. So when a lot of the protests were happening, I cut out this map out of wood. I've got tons of skills. So I can, and it's basically a puzzle. And so the idea is that I can go and disrupt that puzzle, and then I can put that puzzle back together again. And so I kind of use the idea of the focus of here I am in the United States and kind of what's happening in the United States and kind of make work about that. Next. So in 2012, like I'm an educator, I'm an activist. I do believe it's my job as an artist to make work to strike up conversation. That's the goal. That's what I want to do. I want to talk to you guys. I want to talk about differences. I want to talk about everything. And so I make work to kind of strike that conversation. So 2012 was an election year, and so I threw a party, and I called it Divided. And so I threw a party for the parties. And so I made all these party cups. You guys have seen it, the red solo cups that you guys have drank out of. I took those and I made molds of them, and I casted 500 cups. And so then I put faces of all the candidates. And so I had a party, and you could choose the cup of choice. And we watched the election, and we kind of just went and did some games and stuff like that. Next. So now, 4 years later, 2016, it's another election year. I really do enjoy election years because there's a lot to talk about. And so these are the cups that I made this year. Different format, they're white, they're still solo cups. The images are digitally made and then fired onto the cups. So there's a way for clay that you can get pretty realistic stuff on your forms. And so now I threw a show, go ahead next. I threw a show basically asking people who you're gonna vote for. Because the idea is that I really do want that conversation. My family is very different, they vote very differently than I do. But the thing is that I want to talk about it because that's what it needs to be. We need to have a conversation, it shouldn't be an argument. And so I threw a party, I threw an exhibition. This was in Philadelphia. It was during the National Democratic Convention. And the idea is that I wanted people to cast their votes. They didn't have to write their names or anything. I just wanted them to kind of participate. Because the idea is that I just thought that voting is our right, and we should do it. Next. And so then I threw another election party. So this one, it was called Still Divided, because I still feel there's lots of tension in the world. And so then, you can see there's the puzzle again. People opening the puzzle or watching the live election. I had over 300 people show up for my party. It was awesome. And we had games, I had music, we had live graffiti that was, I had all my students screen print. So there was really a lot of activities, and I really enjoyed that because it struck up the conversation. And there was many differences, and it was good. But the way that we can kind of relate is that we're all human, we can all talk, and so we should want to have that conversation. Next. So I have lots of dreams. I'm a dreamer. I will believe that I can do anything that I want to, and I hope you guys do too. You guys are all here trying to figure that out. So I had a dream. I wanted to take my studio, so I'm a screen printer, take my studio on the road. How do I do that? Well, I like biking. I bike all the time, and I like printing. So I took a BMX bike, and I put a t-shirt press on top. I totally took apart the bike, I built these compartments, and then I can ride around cities and print. So I'll be around Portland this summer. So if you guys, around the summer or on First Fridays, once it starts getting warm, you can find me. I will be riding around and I'll be printing. Next. So these are some examples of some of the prints, and then here's my bike kind of set up. So I go around, people hire me. So this is how I make money. I also have been a professor at universities in Philadelphia, 3 universities. So I've been teaching to make money, and then I also get hired to make t-shirts. So I run my own business. So that I have my work that I can do that's super creative but helps pay the bills. So then I can do some of my own personal ceramic work that I just put money towards because I need to do that. And as an artist, you have a balance of that all. So it's really hard to define a set job when you're thinking about going into the arts, but the idea is that you have lots of different opportunities and lots of different skills. Next. So this is just where the idea is that here's the educator coming into play, and I really want to show people how to print. And so this is just kind of it in action. Next. So these are some examples. On the right-hand side are 2 types of posters. So I do a lot of posters. I do a lot of historical work. So the Delaware Water Gap was a historical poster that I got to reproduce. I got to work with another artist, and you can see there's a 3-color separation. And then these are just some examples of certain types of t-shirts that I've made for myself or for other people. So people commission me to make work. So I work with a lot of different types of people, professional artists, young artists, people that just have an idea, and I try to help them make work. Next. These are a little bit more political side of the work, but the thing is, guys, I do want to strike conversation. It's not like I'm going at it in a negative way. I'm just trying to understand some kind of putting questions out there. So these can be a little bit strong themed, but the idea is that the top image with all these postcards that we made, me and a couple of my friends made postcards, and we basically handed them out and mailed them to people, just to have them think about some of the issues that are at hand. I feel it's important, and that's just kind of how and who I am. Next. And then when I'm out in the studio, I do like to use my head and my hair as a means to kind of express myself. So when 2016 came, I had the word vote in my head all year long. I had to get my hair cut every 2 weeks, completely high maintenance. Because if you have short hair, you have to keep it up. A lot of the gentlemen probably know that. So every 2 weeks, and I had the word vote because I just thought it was your right to vote, and I wanted to tell people. And so then after that, I kind of had some fun with it. But it's hair, it grows back if I let it go. So I decided to put the word love in my head for you guys, if you can see it a little bit. Because the idea is that I do want to, I know I have some political work, I have some strong stance on things, but the idea is that I do love everyone and everything, and then I think that that's what we need more in the world. Next. And that's pretty much kind of what I think about. And so as an artist, as a person, I've traveled around the world, I've had lots of opportunities, and you guys, I really enjoy talking to you guys, and I want to say thank you very much for having me, and I do wish that someday you guys are going to be you're the future, you're the next people, and so I want to encourage you guys to go out there and do exactly what you want to do. Thank you.